What's going on, guys? Looks like Stephan has a new video, and the title says he's going to be taking a step back. The video is about 38 minutes long, and I watched the whole thing. So here is a summary of what is going on and what he is planning to do going forward. In the video, he starts off by talking about his career, how he was terrible in school and doing enough in school just to get by, and he really wasn't motivated. Then he found a part-time job that allowed him to make some extra money. He talked about how he worked at a pet store or something like that, and he took pictures of fish. And for every picture of a fish he took, he received $1. So that excited him because he could crank out a bunch of pictures and make decent money for a teenager. Then, after he was done with high school, he didn't know what to do because he didn't seem to care about going to college. So he thought he could be a good investment banker. He eventually got an entry-level job doing data entry and assistant type role. And he quickly realized that the 9-to-5 office job was not for him. So he quit shortly after and then decided to get into real estate. He was able to talk to some agents, and some of them were really discouraging him to go that route. Some told him to go to college because at that time the market was bad, so it's a bad time to get into it. And he eventually got lucky and talked to someone that said the opposite. They said, yes, the market is bad right now, but if you gain experience now, by the time the market rebounds, he would have enough experience to reap in the benefits. And that is exactly what happened. He worked during a bad market, gained some experience, built up confidence, and took on a bunch of work that experienced people did not want to do, which was smart of him because it still allowed him to get paid and allowed him to gain knowledge and experience. He then talked about being able to buy investment homes and building a decent portfolio. Then comes the story of how he decided to start his YouTube channel. He talked about how intimidating it was to start the channel. His friends or family might make fun of him for it. He wasn't sure that people would like him or his personality or what he talked about. Overall, he had a lot of doubts of becoming a good YouTuber. Eventually, he gained enough courage to start posting and realized it's not as bad as he thought. He then put on his blinders and tunnel vision and fully turned on his focus 100% towards building his channel. Graham talked about how he became obsessed with growing the channel, and then, of course, he started his podcast as well. And he just went all out towards making non-stop content. And that takes us to the current state. 4.6 million subs, over 1,000 videos on his main channel. Almost 1 million subs and 500 videos on his Iced Coffee Hour podcast. Then he talks about what he is planning to do going forward. This is where he talks about taking a step back and doing less videos on his main channel. And he said he wants to do more podcasting. What he is pretty much saying, he wants to grow the podcast channel more. I think my assumption is he saw a recent article of the top podcasters on Spotify and realizes there is room for growth there. And since he has been able to get some famous people on his podcast, such as Shark Tank's Barbara Corcoran, Dave Ramsey, and other famous popular people, he wants to double down and put all his energy towards building that up. And that makes sense because he can still grow on YouTube, but that will also allow him to grow on Spotify and Apple as well. That will give him multiple streams of income, and he would be able to enjoy interviewing famous people that got something to say on his podcast. That's unlimited content if you can always get people on your podcast. Overall, I loved hearing his story of how he grew, what he was thinking, his obsessive habits that allowed him to grow and excel in whatever he was doing, which led him to his current phase in life. A real estate agent with a great real estate portfolio, 2 big YouTube channels, and a special person he is planning to marry this year. What more can you ask for? Thanks, Stephan, for allowing us to be a part of being able to hear your stories and watch you grow over the years.